Are you bullish on crypto and Bitcoin? Well, here's a bad news bear macro monthly cross sitting right here. We're going to cover this in the first third of the video. Timeout, Team Bears. My yesterday daily update that I provided for my YouTube and community and the Discord community, I let them know my absolute most favorite situation for short-term time price action is for 28.2 to be hit somewhere around the end of August or early September because of this monthly 10. And I want to show you, I literally just let them know that yesterday, that's my absolute favorite scenario. I'm going to show you a clip of that, and then we'll get back to this video. I don't know if that's my favorite guess, though, for how the origin line's touched. I think it's my second favorite. My first favorite is, we go up to 28.2 and retest into the perfect higher low zone because 28.2 is the capitulation line from June of 2022. The second third of the video, we're going to zoom into this current monthly candle on the daily and 1 hour time frames so we can get a feel for where's price going in the more immediate sense. And the third is particularly for new viewers. So new viewers, if you wanted to skip to the time-stamped last portion that is particularly for you, you can go ahead and do that and then come back to the beginning of this video. So what is this? This is the daily stochastic cross. We are going to have to essentially informally name this episode Beethoven's Fifth Symphony because it means bum 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 bum, like literally. Here we go, 69K top, boom, cross right here. You had a 70+% drop over a year's time, and then the one previous to that, 64K top, boom, same cross. You had about a 60% drop over a 65-day period. And then the 32K low, the 3200 lows in late 2018 to early 2019 zoomed up to 14K in 2019 after the 20K top in 2017. So here's 14K. 3 months later, after that 14K topish, you had the same monthly nasty cross, and you had roughly a 60% drop over the course of well over 100 days. So the last three iterations, it has smelled the same. So let's dive into this part, and let's figure out, is the same thing getting ready to happen again? And I will let you know what we will see in the charts if that's going to reverse itself. So put your hat on backwards, don't let it blow off. Let's go get some Bitcoin. You ready? Monthly stochastic RSI. Here we go. So let's simply get a feel for the previous iterations of this. I'm going to use a tool to measure from the moment it crossed down to its ultimate low. So almost exactly, see that? A year's time, 75%. Now we're going to go to the one previous to that. Nearly a 55% drop over a 2-month time frame, and then we're going to go to one previous to that. And again, this had the pandemic involved, so you have to put a little bit of salt on this one. It could have been a little bit more shallow, more like 55%, possibly. Who knows? However, 60% drop over a 213-day period, or 200+ day period. All right, so we have, on average, it's over 50%. All right, the time frame is varies widely. You had 2 months, 200 days, and you had almost exactly a year. So we don't need to really concentrate on the timing of this because that has been, it's mostly the depth that matters. That's the same. That's the constant denominator among those three. So let's just draw down here about 50%. Boom. That perfectly hits at 1, 2. So here we go. Origin lines. These are all origin lines. And it's 1, 2, 3 more origin lines down. It barely squeaks out a new low at about 14 or 14K and change. Yep, 14.6. It would barely take, so relative to this whole cycle, it would barely take out the 15.5K lows if, only if, something similar would happen during this cross from the previous, similar to the previous 3 crosses. Does it have to happen? No. I'm not making the call that this will happen, right? I'm kind of favoring a higher low somewhere around 18, the high 18s. That's kind of what I think is going to happen. And then altcoins will really, really just bleed out after some sideways after this, after 18K's hit. That's kind of my main guess. So I'm not saying this is my main guess. However, I want you to be prepared. And because listen, if you are DCA'ing into altcoins right now, and Bitcoin goes on a 50% drop, which is would be the smallest among all these, I guess now 4 signals. how much will your altcoins go down? How much money, think about it. How much money have you put into DCA'ing? Right? So just think about it. Think about that number. How much are you DCA'd in holding altcoins right now? Recent DCAs from 2023 or late 2022. God help you if so. Think about that number. Now imagine it being 80 to 90% down. If Bitcoin goes 50+% down over the course of months, altcoins will go much more than that. It'll be closer to 80% from their current prices. So if you're already down on that DCA money, which you probably are if you're DCAing in 2023, unless you did it at the very new year. That's the only way if you DCA'd this year that you wouldn't be down in altcoins. However, actually maybe you would on some altcoins. But think about like, how much you're already down. And so from current, 80% lower than that, if this were to happen. So you need to be prepared. Again, I'm not saying this is my main idea. I'm not making this call. I'm letting you know what has happened the last 3 times. If it is repeated anywhere close to what it did the last 3 times on this macro signal, this is what you'd be looking for. And now I'm telling you what to do with that information. If it were to play out, holy cow, I have DCA'd, I would be kind of screwed. I need you to think about that, particularly new viewers. And for returning viewers, I mean, if you haven't had that thought, new viewers, if you haven't had that thought, this is where you hit the thumbs up, smash that like for your content creator so I can keep making videos for you. And we're going to move on to the second portion of this video. I'm going to zoom into the more immediate time frames here. Actually, I needed the other chart on that. Macro bearish channel. See this? 69K top fits in there. The 64K top hit the blue point of control of this 2-year range. The BlackRock ETF news is the thing. It broke out on news-driven price action. Okay, not people buying Bitcoin to buy Bitcoin. People buying Bitcoin off of speculation of news, which sometimes is what gets it going. You know, but it did break out and it did just retest it. So in general, there are only a few things that can happen here. Either that is a true retest and you make new highs on this bounce. Because if you get stuck in a lower high and go under this origin line, you're going in this. These origin lines, I mean, work like ping pong balls. It goes like this. If you go under it, I mean, you're going to get stuck. So on this one push, you can go sideways until late September to early October. But it needs to ride this origin line and not go very far below. It can go a few wicks below, but then it's got to get right back above. So really, on a macro scale, this origin line is where it's at. Look how it went below here. Boom, and it went down 1, 2 origin lines. Went below here, went down. It got saved by actually this line after it went under here. So that rule isn't 100% perfect. Like I said, it can go a little bit below, and it's got a V shape right back up and into it. This one was a little sloppy. But in general, it's bad if it goes below this origin line, because then this channel, 2-year channel, will suck price back in, and this origin line down here minimum, and the 3/4 line on the channel minimum will be hit. And often, see where they cross right here? Look, they cross in early October. So if that were to happen and Bitcoin can't, bounce off of this on this retest of the top of the channel, its breakout, I mean, this is why I like 18.8. See that? So in early October, the 3/4 line, so bottom line or zero line, quarter line, half court line, 3/4 top of this 2-year channel, the 3/4 line intersects with an origin line, and oftentimes when 2 important lines cross, it sucks price into it, regardless if price is above it or below it. It can suck an important cross can suck price up into it or down into it. All right, in this case, it would be down into it, but you will know if that's even in play, specifically because of this origin line. If it goes below this origin line, you can try to replicate this if you'd like. If it goes, or just stay tuned and watch my channel, because I'm going to start making YouTube videos fairly more regularly than I have over the last 2 months. So take a look. There you go. And if price goes below there, then this price getting sucked into here is in play as one of the top 3 most likely. As of now, it is not one of the top 3 most likely. All right. So let's zoom in even further. So what we have right now on immediate time is, on the more immediate time frames, is price broke out of a 2-year channel. It just perfectly retested it. It needs to make new highs. If it cannot and it goes below the origin line, then much lower local lows are going to happen, and a significant threat because of that monthly cross that I showed you earlier. Significant threat of new lows. That is what's at stake. Origin line, near guarantee of new local lows, significant new yearly lows. Actually, not yearly lows, local lows. With a highly increased threat, because then that monthly cross is going to be really heating up. So it's that momentum of that monthly oscillator, it could easily take price down. Are you seeing this? So it almost be like a domino effect, a chain reaction. All because it goes below this line and gets sucked back in, then hits this, and then the monthly cross is en route and people just keep selling. And then the SEC might come out and might make Bitcoin even go lower. Have you DCA'd into alts? You need to think about this. As of now, though, so now let's go even more immediate price action. Go down to the 1 hour. Oh, hell yes, my long is doing nicely. Woo! This is nice. All right. Well, so you can go to my Discord as a free member. My last update is, I think this is going to be hit. Bam. There we go. Something's happening. I don't know what the hell it is, but I felt that this was going to be hit. I took longs yesterday, and that's in that video too. If you go to my Discord, links in the description and in the pinned comment. Join as a free member. Look at, I made it for free for the free members, my daily update yesterday. That's typically exclusive to paying members. And go check that out and see what I talked about yesterday. But so more immediately, this price is actually just helping me out. I think 28.2 is a perfect area to be hit because it hits the slope line of these previous 60 days of price action. All right. Wick high, connect them, boom, and it hits this area perfectly. So I expect price to go up here, get attracted, important lines crossing, boom, 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 and then come back down here to test this origin line. I don't know. So once that happens, okay, so if all this happens, I'm thinking more like, I'm going to have to go to the 4 hour to see what time frame this is. I'm thinking late September, that origin line's being retested in a potential higher low. I don't want to guess right now whether or not it's going to stick its landing there and go up. We'll be able to tell once we see it. All right, we'll be able to tell. And did the monthly uncross? You know, like what is that macro signaler doing? Because it's possible this month, you know, if it closes green, which if we go to the monthly scale, it's got a lot of work to do to get green. It's got to go up all the way to 29,282. That's significantly over, right? And where is price really going? Well, even more so than 28.2, what price is doing right now, it's actually not 28.2. It's pissing with something that I cover. Actually, I'll just do it. The monthly 10. This is what's happening. And if you see my video yesterday, Bitcoin like essentially has to go up to this EMA and play around with it right before the monthly closure. And that was the premise of my entire daily update yesterday. And look what it's doing on a 1 hour. This is a 1 hour. Let's go to the 1 hour. So that's the monthly 10 on a 1 hour. It needs to play there. That's just how price moves. If you go below the monthly 10 and it's close to a monthly closure and you're not too far away, you will go test it. And usually play around on top, both sides, whatever, maybe bounce to a slightly higher high, which is why I think 28.2 is a great area because the slope line actually connects. So this would make price go up to it, and then since it's already so close to hitting a slope line in a macro horizontal, it's going to go touch this anyway. And that's also just how price moves. I strongly suggest joining the Discord as a free member, checking out that video that I posted in the free member section, and it's called the announcements. So the channel within the Discord is called announcements. It's available to free members. You might want to check that out, how I was able to predict something or price just interacting with this specifically before the end of the month of August and before September 1st. All right, so that's the more immediate price action. The midterm price action is after this 28.2 area is hit, assuming it doesn't break above the slope line too much, which it could. Then I'll have to change my analysis. Then it could be new highs, and what that means is the macro channel, the 2-year channel, this was a retest, and you are going to new highs. Does that make sense? So it's less than 50% likely you go to new highs until this slope line right here is crossed. It is that simple. It's that simple. And then once you get above, then it's slightly more than 50% likely you're going to go new highs, but not a whole lot more. But once you go above it, bounce on it, and then break a new high, then you're looking at 65, 70%. Then you're very likely getting ready to go make new highs, yearly highs. Making sense? That slope line's very important. I would suggest you draw it in there and mark off 28,200 and try to replicate this origin line. Check it out. All right, now to the downside. To the downside, we have this origin line, right? But we were using earlier the weekly 200. However, if you draw out this weekly 200, it's now, because of this pump up to the monthly 10, which was fully anticipated, and it's probably going to go hit 22. Now that this has happened, the weekly 200 is now no longer going to be your drop point because you will already be trapped under an origin line. So if it comes up here, boom, and goes below, it could bounce on that weekly 200 and then get back above. That is possible. So that we see this weekly 200 right here, weekly 200 EMA. It will be going sideways the whole, it won't curl up very fast if price goes up to 22 or slightly higher. But you see that when it comes back down to make a higher low somewhere in late September, early October, the weekly 200 will be just under the origin line. So if it goes down to touch it, it's an increased chance that it gets stuck under the origin line. Because algos will sell. They can mathematically see that line too, even though I essentially invented origin lines and no one else uses them. So, or no one else that I've ever seen, ever. I've had a few people claim they've done it too, but I don't believe them. Check it, check it. Are we seeing all the consequences that could happen? And again, the third part of this is specifically for new viewers. You can timestamp and go to there. So as a summary, macro bearish oscillating signal happening. Despite this 1 hour hot candle, that was already expected. That's baked in. It shouldn't, it won't make that monthly cross go, cross back up unless the monthly turns green, and the monthly's way up here, the monthly open. This month probably ain't turning green. It's just flirting with the monthly 10 and this line here. And the slope line, all right? So in general, that monthly oscillator going down means big, bad, bearish stuff gets sucked back into that 2-year channel. Not good. Second, more immediate price action is currently flirting with the monthly 10 and the macro horizontal at 28.2. Depending on how it pulls back, if it can stay above the origin line, it has a chance to undo that macro oscillator, the monthly stochastic RSI. It has a chance to do it because then the RSI would simply do one of these. So bullish, bearish zone, and right now it's like this. It would simply do one of these if price can stay above this origin line. Does that make sense? So in the short-term sense, monthly 10 and the 28.2, midterm sense, after that happens, late September, bullish pullback, you need to stay above the origin line and particularly above the weekly 200. And if you hit the weekly 200, you have to do a V-shaped correction back above the origin line or you're going to get stuck. And then you're going to go back into this channel and you're looking at sub 20K. New viewers, check out the next part of the video and we'll see you on the flip side. You just got typified worldwide. New viewers, I want to make you a bet about this area right here. I bet you that I prepared my community for this recent drop in price in August from the 30Ks down to 25Ks better than any YouTube channel that you watch or follow specific to crypto price and or any community that you're a part of. Watch this video. If you agree with me, then, and I win the bet, then you have to subscribe and hit that bell and then check out the Discord community as a free member because I'm going to post the daily update that's for the private community in the free member section as well, so you can get a taste of what I do in the community. So go ahead and check out the rest of the video and let me know if I won the bet. Leave a comment below. We'll see you on the flip side.
July 17th, 2023.
Yeah, Bitcoin broke out of a 2-year-long channel and it hasn't retested it as support. Look. And all of that could be stimulated. Look, that's 25, 26K. High 25s, 26. And that's a macro bullish pullback that could all be stimulated because the US 500 doesn't put in a higher high. Bitcoin keeps dropping versus that chart. And then Bitcoin falls out of the 8-month-long channel and then has to come all the way down to finally use as support something that hasn't used as support, but only resistance for a 2-year period.
Also July 17th, but during a VIP call.
There is one thing to keep in mind. This 2-year-long resistance has not been used as support one time. Over 2 years, it's only been resistance. Ever. Yeah, I mean, I think it needs to be retested. So keep that in mind as well. That would be my, I don't know, I think that's my second most likely. Maybe even my first most likely that it finds its way down there, even if it means, lower lows, lower highs in the range, try all this again, and then, hits this area, maybe even closer to 25 and change. But this line, I think there's an exceptionally high probability that it's going to be retested. And then if all that happens, then we are
July 20th VIP call.
Comes all the way down to so this is a 2-year channel. Bitcoin did not get above here for 2 years. Didn't even do a really fake out above it. It got pure rejections for 2 whole years on this line. This moment right here was the only moment in 2 years it got above. And look, there's no retest. So if Bitcoin, assumingly, and very safely assumingly, at some point comes to retest this, it's not a guarantee, but it's very, very, very likely. The whole question is, you have 2 questions. Will the weekly 10 and the weekly 21 uncross? So will they cross back down bearish? And will Bitcoin price then get stuck under the weekly 10, and therefore that bearish cross really, drives it down? Or when this happens, will it be more on a wick and you have a V shape and it gets right back on top of all this and they stay good as is?
July 31st, a daily update for the whole community, including the YouTube tiers.
To the downside, as low as I can see things going, is this is a 2-year-long channel that the 69K top also hit, and it was hit multiple times just in May, multiple times in May, also in April, and it's never been above. Bitcoin recently exploded above it off of the event or the news-driven price action from BlackRock applying for a spot ETF, and it has not been retested. It's an exceptionally high likelihood that it will be retested at some point in the not too far future.
August 2nd, during another daily update video.
I do fully expect a very large bounce if Bitcoin goes anywhere between 24,500 and 25,500. 24,500 and 25,500. I expect a large bounce. It could be into a lower high as opposed to continuation upward. I don't know which one, but I think it should get a good reaction from that $1,000 range.
August 4th, during another daily update video.
To the downside, I still think it's more probable that all this area, so clearly labeled here, and this try area of interest. So the descending 2-year-long bear channel as 1, and then the top of the horizontal, bottom of the horizontal for 3. So descending line, top and bottom of the horizontal, this try area here, it might all hit at the same time when they're crossing. So you see how this line is in between here, or it could happen just a little after. But if it happens after, then you're looking at, you actually would have a green triangle of a bounce area here. Most likely that would be a green. I would not call it a yellow triangle. I'd put that as a green triangle there, and you probably get some bounces there. However, if it does, if price comes down into this, 25 and change area, you're going to have extreme support here, and you're at least, it's exceptionally probable that you'll at least bounce into a lower high or more or new highs, but you'll get a bounce here. And
later on in the same video on August 4th,
a lot of times what price does is, so the second way this could go is it just goes like this, and you don't really have much opportunity because it goes down, and most of the move happens in 2 or 3 hours when we're all sleeping. Which is exactly what happened. So then your next area to get in is a bounce from here. So it is possible that there's no way to get the trade short, because it just rolls, and it rolls when you're not at your desk, and it only takes 2 to 3 hours to get down there, and it's over. And then your next trade setup is a long. There are 2 ways to join the community to get more exclusive content. There are 2 YouTube tiers, which involve access to private live shows, typically at 12 p.m. noon New York time, Tuesdays and Thursdays, in which the higher YouTube tier also gets daily price updates on Bitcoin and other cryptos. And the Discord community offers multiple events each week, as you can see on this real example of a previous community calendar, which would enable you to jump on the live events, turn on your microphone, share screens with me, share your ideas, so we can knock out any questions that you have. In addition to offering tutorial series and other exclusive content to help you in your crypto journey. And what you can do for free, which is amazingly valuable, is to look at the 12 links from 2021 and 2022, which are both in the pinned comment and near the top of the description section of this video. Those are links to videos in which I made technical analyses that now played out. Go back to those videos to see how I was able to use the charts to predict it. It's all for free. I promise I'm here to help you as much as I can in your crypto journey.